And clear of the closing doors, please.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs and have some fun. You gotta give us a shot. You know what? You gotta give us a shot.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Giants Report. I am your host, The Mage. As always, I'm joined by my two co-hosts. Murph, what's up, Murph?
Not much, man.
You look a little pouty today. What's up with you? You all right?
A little sleepy.
A little sleepy?
Yeah.
You sound sick as well. You sure it's not the vid?
Well, I wasn't planning on recording because you bailed on us earlier and then you came back to life.
Well, I didn't bail. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it at the aforementioned time, Murph.
I was taking it as a bail.
What does that have to do with you being sick?
I'm not sick. I was just taking a little siesta.
You sound sick.
I'm not sick.
CG, doesn't he sound sick?
He sounds like he's got a little bit of the sniffles.
Absolutely. Oh, wait. Before we even started, my boy is here. Let's go. Nick the Wick. Mage fan club. I love it. Nick, I love Nick. Nick is found me on What Do You Say? Longtime follower and supporter of The Entertainer. But he followed us over to What Do You Say? Love you, Nick. Thank you for joining us. What's up, CG? How are you?
What's up, Mage? How you doing today?
Not too bad. I'm hanging in there, trying to do the best I can, surviving like everybody else. I am beerless today, so I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm drinking water. I'm not sure if it's going to be a great show or not. But before we get into it, make sure you follow us on Twitter. Follow me at @TheMage_NFL. Follow CG at CGF_NFL. And follow Murph absolutely nowhere because he has been booted off of every platform except for MySpace. If you do have that, please follow him there. All right. Oh, and follow the podcast at Giants Report Pod on Twitter and Instagram. So what's up, guys? Where do we want to start today? The Giants finally got their roster down to 53. Any surprise cuts for you?
Well, I guess if you were looking at Giants Twitter today, you'd say Quincy Roche was a surprise cut. I kind of felt like he was going to get cut just because he wasn't the best scheme fit in my own mind. But I don't know. I mean, everyone was kind of saying O'Shane Zimenez was going to get cut. Everyone's been talking about Darius Slayton going somewhere else. And at the end of the day, if you were, following some of the insiders, a lot of the moves kind of went down as we expected. Though I did feel that Davis Webb would have made the team.
Originally, we had Davis Webb not making the team. Last week's 53 that we did, we only rolled with Daniel Jones and Tyrod, and then I kind of got bullied into including Davis Webb in my 53-man projection.
There was one player who didn't make the team. Daniel Bellinger with a didn't make the team. Daniel Bellinger with the I made the team. You had to let me know yesterday because I put out.
I did, yeah, because you had Daniel Bellinger.
This guy,
I have no idea who the hell he was, but I'm glad that Daniel Bellinger did.
Now, I'm giving my kid a bath, actually. This is a funny story. I'm giving my kid a bath, and I get this text message from the Mage, and he says he says Daniel Bellinger was misspelled. I went back and I looked, and I said, oh, I did misspell
Actually, I said, who is Daniel Bellinger?
Well, my bad. I screwed that up. But, that Bellinger with an A got cut. So that may be one of the biggest surprises.
I was not surprised that Quincy Roche got cut. Honestly, I didn't have him making it on my 53-man roster. I did put O'Shane Zimenez in there just because Quincy Roche kind of looked lost. And Nick the Wick brings up, before we get to you real quick, Murph, he's surprised that Tomon Fox did make the team. So there were two rookies not rookie.
only one undrafted free agent.
One undrafted. We drafted DJ Davidson. I thought we picked him up.
Yeah, last year.
He was like the 7th round, 6th
All
round.
right. So Murph, any surprise cuts
No,
for you?
Quincy. I mean, but just back to Quincy. I mean, I think we talked about it last week. He just didn't. He didn't look right. He didn't look right standing up as an edge rusher. He just, to me,
Right.
and I asked Bobby earlier, but he didn't agree. But he just didn't really fit for me. I always kind of felt like he needed his hand in the dirt. Other than that, though, no, not really. I mean, I would have liked to see Corbin have made the team. I thought he was going to probably be our kick returner. So
Corbin was one guy that I had on my 53 that got cut. But
yeah, I mean, Breida made it probably by default, in my opinion. Just knowing the system, obviously. But
which again, I kind of, and you say this all the time, Murph. What's up, TJ? Thanks for joining us. No free rides, man. And that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like Breida got a free ride with this, Murph, no?
Yeah, I mean, he did. Our boy Ryan was saying the other day, what kind of money did we give him? I don't know if we gave him a bunch of guaranteed money or a multi-year deal, but I don't know. Maybe you can look that up, Mish. But I mean, I don't get it. It's obviously a system thing similar to Tyrod. But, they said they're going to try to stash Corbin. I don't see that happening. He's probably going to get picked up, dude. In my opinion.
I agree. I agree 100% on that. I mean, Corbin, I actually felt would have a little bit of a slight edge based on the preseason over Breida because Breida really didn't play. He didn't show us anything. But at the end of the day, familiarity trumped, performance on the field. So, Breida gets a shot for the regular season, and we're going to, like you said, we hope to get him through on the practice.
Are you guys surprised that Davis Webb was cut?
I mean, the way I look at that whole thing is he should have probably won the quarterback 2 position, in my opinion. But again, Tyrod is a system. Well, I guess they're both system guys, but Tyrod has a multi-year deal.
No. I'm sorry. I put out a tweet, and you're going to have to stop friggin' doing that. Stop calling Tyrod a system guy. Tyrod left the Bills in 2017, right before Brian Daboll got here. Tyrod Taylor was in Cleveland in 2018. Brian Daboll's first stint with the Buffalo Bills. Stop calling him a system guy.
No system guy, but again, multi-year deal with guaranteed money, so you kind of have to
2 years,
cater to him. In my opinion, you shouldn't. Webb probably should have made that. I have a feeling Webb's still going to be sticking around, so we'll see more of him. But I mean, Tyrod shouldn't have beaten out Webb.
No,
but are we surprised? No. And then Slayton, obviously, we all had our eyes on that today. But that's not over. That's not over.
Matt Breida, the cap number is about a little more than $1 million, less than 1.1.
What kind of guaranteed money did they give him at signing? Signing bonus.
I think from what I'm seeing, it looks like $150. And then he got a prorated bonus of 127 plus a workout bonus of 277.
I really like him, though. That's the thing. I like him, but he has no business being on this roster.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
I agree with you too. I mean, from a depth perspective, we look at the areas, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a little later. If there's a place you can cut Breida because we need, the strength in our tight ends. We need to strengthen our cornerbacks, and I understand why they kept him, but we could have easily moved on.
The Giants kept 5 running backs. Now,
special teams.
Supposedly, I mean, I've seen conflicting information about this, but Dan Duggan said that Essential Platzcummer doesn't count because of the exemption. I've read that the exemption was only good towards the 90-man roster, not towards the 53, but apparently the Giants can carry him without taking up a roster spot, according to Dan Duggan. But aside from that, the Giants obviously kept Saquon, Matt Breida, Antonio Williams, Gary Brightwell, and Sandro. 5 running backs for a team? That's kind of crazy. It's kind of out there. Now, we know that Gary Brightwell plays special teams, so that's fine.
Does Antonio Williams
doesn't? No.
He doesn't.
Breida doesn't.
Are we sure Antonio Williams doesn't play specials?
as far as I know,
At least here he has it, is what you're saying.
Well, I don't think I'm not sure he had the opportunity in Buffalo really either because he was hurt, wasn't he?
I think he was hurt a little bit, but I haven't seen him much out on the special teams at all. I mean, but that does give us a little bit of an insight of what they're valuing going into the season because, our special teams did not look good in the preseason. So I think they're rolling the dice thinking, okay, we're going to bring some guys on who, at least for now, are been known historically to do well in the special teams.
Well, I mean, let's talk about surprises that did make the roster. Carter Coughlin. I mean, are you guys? I mean, Murph, you're kind of disagreeing. Did you anticipate that he was going to make this roster, Carter Coughlin?
No, I'm not disagreeing. I think I'm freezing a little bit. Again, he's another one. He's a special teams guy. I don't think he's Yeah, he's gonna play. He can play specials. He's a body, I guess. There's guys that play absolutely no specials. That and when people think specials, it's like, oh, kick return, punt return. Obviously, punt returners. But there's got to be 11 men on the field, right? So Carter Coughlin's a guy that was probably on that roster bubble, but he's got both parts of his game. I mean, his transition to linebacker hasn't been anything special or to cry home to. But I mean, if he plays specials, dude, look, we got to fill a roster, right? That's a guy that if Beavers was healthy, is he on the roster today?
Probably not.
I don't know. Kalitra, same thing. Is he on the roster today if Beavers doesn't get hurt? I don't know.
I think Kalitro, his camp actually sealed it for him. I felt that he was on the bubble. But getting back to, I'm really surprised that Cam Brown and Carter Coughlin made this team. I was pretty much going either or going into, the 53, and both were able to, make the team, which goes back to the point, they are definitely valuing the special teams. And I assume that's really why they were kept.
Special teams has been bad.
I kind of anticipated that Cam Brown was going to make this team because of the special team.
But I had absolutely no plan for him to be a captain. But, dude, I hope Cam Brown can turn into something.
All right, so I'm looking at the Giants 53 right now. I'll just go ahead and rattle this off just in case anybody by some chance hasn't heard it. But Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Matt Breida, Gary Brightwell, Chris Myerick, Antonio Williams, Daniel Bellinger, Tanner Hudson. Offensive line, Bredesen, Izudu, Feliciano, Garcia, Glowinski, Devery Hamilton, Shane Lemieux, Evan Neal, Andrew Thomas. At wide receiver, Kenny Galladay, Richie James, Wan'Dale Robinson, Sterling Shepard, David Sills, Kadarius Toney, and surprisingly, Darius Slayton's still on this team. Does that surprise you guys?
I don't think he's going to make it to September 11th. I think they're trying to figure out a way to deal him. And if they can't, they'll probably begrudgingly. They need the money, though. That's, for me, it's like they need that money in order to, fill out some of the other weak spots on this roster. I've tweeted earlier, I'm not going to get into it too much, but they have some major holes that they kind of need to reinforce before September 11th, before that first game. And, I guess they're trying to find a trade partner or trying to get something for him. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so it was reported, I believe, Murph, help me if you remember, but it was the Bears, the Tennessee Titans, the Jets. I feel like there was another team.
Rams. Wasn't the Rams?
Might have been the Rams that all kind of inquired about Darius Slayton, which is intriguing. So right now, honestly, if I'm the Giants, I would trade him straight up for Denzel Mims. I do like Mims. I think Mims is kind of the guy that the Giants need. He's more of a physical receiver. Was kind of that guy at Baylor too. He's not a finesse guy. The Giants need a guy that can go up and battle and make those contested catches. So I would love to do a swap with Darius Slayton for Denzel Mims. I don't think they're going to do that, though. The money's about the same anyway, so it wouldn't matter in terms of saving cap. I was listening to a space yesterday with Patricia Traina, and she thinks that no matter what, the Giants are going to have to restructure or do something with some of these contracts to free up space. And I just don't see any way around it.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, it starts with Leo, right? I mean, Leo and Slayton. You're probably going to restructure Leo, probably going to get Slayton off the roster. At this point, he's probably not going to get bit like he did with Bradbury, man. Like, he's got to take anything that's offered, right?
I don't know.
What do you do here? Because we have a shortage.
This is honestly such a good question, too. And what's up, Taj? Thanks for joining us, man. But I think the question is, and, anybody that's here in the chat, if they want to get involved in this, the Giants wide receiving crew has been injured a lot in the past. Darius Slayton has been one guy that's been pretty consistent. He's been one guy that has played through injuries. I'm not ready to just give him away for nothing. If it's a 7th rounder, I'm not sure if that's worth it to me.
I agree. Why would you trade someone who's averaged, I think if I have the stats correctly, like over 650 yards the last 2 seasons? Why would you trade that?
He was the leading wide receiver in 2019 and 2020.
Why would you trade that for a 7th round pick? I mean, if they're going to trade Darius Slayton, they need to trade him for something that's going to help this team this year. And trade him for a cornerback, trade him for a tight end. I mean, offensive line help. If they need to trade him for something that could benefit the team now, not something a 7th round pick, which is really, you're not going to odds on you're not going to get much for a 7th rounder in the draft. So hopefully they can do something in regards to maybe getting something back, because that CB2 is sitting there and I'm worried about it. I really am.
Yeah, so am I. But I also don't think that you just give them away for nothing either.
Well, it's got to be something. I mean, 7th is nothing. I know what you guys mean. But
he was a 5th round pick.
He can't be cut. He cannot be cut.
He'll wind up in Dallas. They cut him. He's going to wind up in Dallas.
Well, that aside, you can't cut him because you're getting absolutely nothing for him with a wide receiver need already on the roster. He's caught in the cap battle where he's really not that good, but we kind of need him. But, you're really weighing, can I get something more off the street for a better value, for basically the same production, or am I keeping a guy that caught ATDs from my quarterback that needs to have a career year? I'm not a Slayton performer or supporter, but I'm giving him away for a 7th. Probably shouldn't, but completely understand your point of view. But you can't get rid of him. You can't cut him. So, I mean, he's here, right?
I'll be honest. I kind of like Darius Lee, and I kind of enjoy his time here. I think he's pretty funny. I think he rolls with the punches. His interactions with BJ Hill on Twitter before he got traded were pretty funny. I think he's a guy who gets it, though. Just sucks because he hasn't been very good in terms of holding on to the football when thrown to him. That's why Giants fans are looking to upgrade. But Murph, we'll come back to that because I know that name shook free earlier that you're interested in. So let's continue here with the defensive line. The Giants are keeping DJ Davidson, Justin Ellis, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Nick Williams. No surprises there, I don't think. Inside linebacker, Cam Brown, Austin Calitro, Carter Coughlin, Tay Crowder, Blake Martinez, Micah McFadden. So the only surprise there for me, who I thought was on the bubble, was probably Carter Coughlin, who, again, was probably saved by guys like Darian Beavers getting injured or we lose anybody else recently? No, right?
I think Beavers was the big one.
Yeah. Outside linebacker, you got Azeez Ojulari, Kayvon Thibodeau, Jahad Ward, Ellison Smith, O'Shane Zimenez, and then Toman Fox. So Toman, I did have making the roster. Did I or didn't I? I did at one point. I'm not sure on my latest projections if I did.
You did.
Um,
We did on the last show, at least.
all right, yeah. So Tomon Fox is in. That's certainly. I don't know if it's a surprise, but he's certainly a roster bubble type of guy. At DB, we got Dane Belton, Cordell Flott, Darnay Holmes, Dory Jackson, Julian Love, Xavier McKinney, Aaron Robinson, Darius Williams. I think no surprises there. Khalil Dorsey was cut. Darius Evans was cut. Elijah Griffin was cut. And then special teams, obviously, Gano, Gillen, and Kreider. So, no other surprises there then. So, do you guys want to move into the NFL? Who shook free and who you would be interested in?
Sure. I mean, there are definitely a couple of names today. I mean, one of the big ones was Alex Leatherwood. I'm really curious to know your guys' take on him.
Well, I saw a stat earlier that he gave up the most pressures last year as a tackle. I'm not sure.
I'm using my number one waiver claim on him.
Well, by the way, it's Sports Update account, Ari Marinov, I forget what his name is, but he said that if the Giants have basically the fifth waiver wire, if they put in 6 claims, they get all those claims before it goes to the next team.
So I think we were talking about this, though, but I think they get all the rights to those players. So they probably, right? Because, what happens if they don't get signed? It just goes back into the pool?
I think it's based on if the other teams ahead of them don't put in a claim before that.
So I do know that waivers doesn't reset, and it'll just constantly be the same order.
But the thing that I was confused about, CG, is that, all right, the Jaguars have the number one waiver wire claim. They get first dibs at whoever they want. But you can only claim one player. Then the second team goes, and third team, and the fifth team, et cetera. And then it just kind of recycles back through again, pretty much. But what they're saying is if Jaguars put in a claim for 6 players, the Jaguars will get all 6 players before the team with the second waiver priority will get 1.
I'm not 100% familiar with the process, but that could be the case. It depends on if there's any exceptions.
Saying, I just never heard that done before.
Yeah.
Well, let's look it up, boys. Y'all keep talking.
No, I mean, I don't know if that's the case or not. I can't imagine a team putting in 6 waiver claims. I mean, those are 6 roster spots where you got to pretty much dump the player. I mean, that has happened before, but I could imagine maybe 1 or 2. So, I'm sure the Giants are going to be active, though, with the waiver.
Damn, man. It looks like that is the case. So, it's a good blog by DraftKings because they're basically saying fantasy football versus real football. There are 2 ways in which the NFL waiver wire differs. 1, teams do not lose priority after they make a claim. If the team with the number 1 waiver priority puts in 3 waiver claims, they will get all 3 players.
So that's the case, I guess. So we got to hope that one of the
I'm
players
pretty
we
sure
want.
that's the case until obviously the season starts. And then obviously it says some players are not eligible for the waiver wire and they become immediate free agents. No, this is all for the season. No, after the trade deadline. What? Vested vets will go through waivers if released. Wow. How is waiver priority decided? I don't understand that though, because wouldn't that, in my opinion, I would just want to tank, right? Because then you're telling me I
I mean-
basically have waiver priority for the rest of the summer. I get the number 1 pick and I get waiver prior.
But how many good players are actually going to be on waivers?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that's a reason to tank though either.
I mean,
Is it saying that this is how it is for the whole year?
All right. Well, as you learn how to read, can we just go through who some of the targets should be?
Well, are we talking waiver targets or vested free agent targets?
Murph, who would you like to add to this team, Murph?
I'd like to add Tony Jefferson,
Oh,
but he's not going to be on waivers.
All right, so amazing guy. They said hopefully they signed Tony Jefferson as well.
So I'd like to see that. That'd be
all right.
cool.
So, but here's the question though: you're adding Tony Jefferson to this roster. What are you doing with Julian Love then? Does Julian Love become your outside corner?
I mean, we need it, right? We fucking need it, and he has experience there, and you know damn well he's going to be down to do it.
I mean, is that what their plan is? Because correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure there's only 3 safeties on the roster right now. So maybe that's what they're thinking.
One's still hurt.
Yeah. So I don't know about that. I mean, that would be the cheap thing to do, but that's putting a lot of faith in Julian Love to play, that position out there.
I know that he's played in the past. I mean, the only thing is I think he's better suited for the safety position than he is outside corner. So I don't know. The question is, if you do sign a guy like Tony Jefferson, what are you doing with Julian Love then? You're not moving Xavier McKinney, are you?
Well, this is one of those questions where I always go back to what are the Giants trying to accomplish? Do we want vet bodies? Because as of today, it looks like we don't want vet bodies. I would like Tony Jefferson as the fan in me, but do we think that they want that? I mean, they cut Andrew Adams so they could give the young guys reps, right? I talk to my buddies about this all the time, but I'm still kind of confused what the vision is here. If they sign Tony Jefferson tomorrow, I'm kind of going to be like, damn, they really do want to compete. If they don't, I'm kind of like, well, they want to let Love, like you guys are saying, grow into something. Which is it? And I honestly don't even know if I know that answer yet.
In my opinion, they want to save as much money as they can for next year.
Well, then you don't sign Tony Jefferson.
When you inherit a roster such as the New York Giants, I think it's about instilling the program, instilling the system, instilling the offense, or installing the offense, installing the defense. And then you're trying to figure out this year, I think, what guys you want to keep while being competitive. I don't see them spending money on guys like Tony Jefferson just because the cap carries forward. If they don't spend that money this year, that's extra money that they have to spend next year. So I really don't see them signing guys like Tony Jefferson or a guy like you, like Murph, Jimmy Smith. Those are older guys that don't have a long-term future here. I tried to set this one up for you. I volleyed it, and you just keep talking about Tony Jefferson. But guys like Tyler Johnson is someone that can certainly fit that role, right? He's a younger wide receiver, no room there at Tampa Bay. He could come over to the New York Giants. The Giants put a waiver claim in for him. Trying to think. It was
that's the different part of the conversation there is he's on waivers.
Well, regardless, we're just talking about ways to improve the team, whether that's through signing a veteran that's, invested or vested, whatever, or just putting in a waiver claim. It doesn't matter. But I think those are types of moves that they'll be looking for. So Tyler Johnson's out there. CG talked about if they kick the tires on Alex Leatherwood. Then you got John LeGlue, who is released today, too. He's a 26-year-old offensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got other people out there. Jason Pinnock is a safety, if you're looking for that. It was a couple of the Jets.
O.J. Howard.
Yeah, O.J. Howard, man.
Do you kick the tires on that since we kind of need some depth at our tight end? I mean, or do we just?
I'd rather fucking
I
call
mean,
Evan Ingram back into town.
I've seen the point made earlier, so this isn't original, but he couldn't beat out Sweeney. I don't know.
He's a bomb man.
What do you think? Do you think he's just not very good?
Yeah, he just sucks. Like, I mean, he couldn't perform with the best quarterback of all time in Tampa. I know they had Gronk, and he might have caught 1 or 2 TDs, but I mean, honestly, I was thinking about this to myself earlier. I would rather have Evan Ingram, and I cannot stand Evan Ingram.
He made the team. He didn't get cut.
No, he didn't. But he's had a pretty big fall from grace, I would say. I'm not going to touch him. I'd rather go chase a Jared Cook. I want a guy that can help develop my quarterback and kind of be a safety valve, not somebody that needs to develop as well, like an O.J. Howard. I'd rather have a Anthony Fersker or, like I said, Jared Cook. They have to sign a tight end, though, right? I mean, they're not rolling with those 3.
Well, they have Myrick as the, I guess you say, the fullback hybrid who could play tight end, but I don't think that's enough, to be honest with you.
We got another Fox fan in here. Yeah, Fox is ready to hunt. Let's see. Any other guys that stick out to you? Murph, why don't you talk about Tyler Johnson? You had mentioned it.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I'm afraid he's going to just get scooped up before he gets to us. But obviously, he's got to be the hottest waiver claim out there, man. Out of all the guys cut today, I mean, Tyler Johnson's got to be one of the top guys out there for sure. So there's going to be a bunch of interest. Shit, I just closed out of that. So it's Jacksonville. It's the same as the draft, right? Jacksonville, Jags,
Lions
in front of us,
Lions, Jets.
So I hope he makes it to us. But yeah, that'd be a great pickup for us. Somebody that I wanted when we drafted Slayton, right? It was that draft.
It may have been
year after.
Correctly.
Might have been the year after, but it was definitely someone I wanted in one of our drafts for sure. And he's young. I was surprised they cut him, man. There's no way he clears, though. No way. Right?
No, probably not. I mean, if we get lucky, obviously, but we'll see. It depends on, Jets probably would put a claim in on him, I would imagine. I mean,
I'll sign Keelan Doss. Or not Keelan Doss. Is that his? Was he on the Jets?
No, he was on our preseason.
You're talking about Keelan Cole.
Yeah, we all signed Cole. Didn't he get cut today?
Yeah, he got cut. He was with the Oakland Raiders. Or, I'm sorry, Las Vegas Raiders. I was trying to see if there was a position tracker, but
they probably won't sign a wide receiver there, honestly, though, guys. I mean, I think we know where our problems lie. It's CB and
tight end. And then they're obviously going to continue to chase O-linemen.
Yeah.
Wait, so you don't think that the Giants go after a wide receiver?
I think they definitely should, but would you say that's at the top of their priorities right now? I mean, I get why you would say that is, but
well, here's the thing: when you waiver a player, you're taking on their current contract as well.
Right.
So if they waiver Tyler Johnson, he's still coming along with that 5th-round rookie contract.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but are you putting? I guess we don't know how the waivers work, but yeah, I'm claiming him for sure. I'm 100%. If that's what you're asking me, I would.
In front of us, it's Jacksonville, Detroit, Houston, and the Jets.
Why wouldn't any of those teams not claim him as well? I guess that's kind of
it's like who would you rather have, David Sills or Johnson? I mean, that's what it might come down to if we get him. I mean, I'm taking Johnson. I like Sills. I like what he did in the preseason, but if you want to talk about upside, and I'm
He's
taking
probably
Johnson.
right. It does really kind of
I
come
mean,
down to
Johnson has the size and the speed to take the top off the defense.
Yeah.
Right? You can talk about a guy like a Darius Toney, Wandell Robinson, these guys that are quick, but they're quick after the catch as well. Tyler Johnson's a guy that you could put opposite Kenny Galladay, or if Kenny Galladay goes down, you can throw him in there with Kadarius Toney and Wandell to kind of take the top off of this defense. I think that would probably be my top priority right now.
Yeah, you're right.
I know a lot of people are, they're looking at other positions that are of need. Yo, what's up, Alex? Thanks for joining us, man.
What's up, dude?
What's up?
Cornerback, but I didn't see any cornerbacks that really shook free today that are going to be able to help the Giants. Did you guys? I mean, Logan Ryan got released.
But I think I heard something that they're going to try to re-sign him, that it was something to do with a temporary move, but I don't know. I didn't think Logan Ryan had much left in the tank anyway when he left.
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked about this earlier. I don't think that the Giants are going to sign or waiver anyone that has a short-term future here. I think they're looking at guys for the long haul. They're still evaluating this roster, and they're going to evaluate this roster all season long. So I don't see them going and signing a guy like a Tony Jefferson or Jimmy Smith. To them, I don't think it's about this year.
Do you think at the trade deadline, let's say the Giants have a winning record and they may be in contention for a wild card spot, do you think they change that mentality and say, hey, maybe we swing a deal that may not be that short term, but still could help the team going forward?
It depends, because if I'm the Giants at that point, and let's say I'm in playoff contention, I think it's got to be, are we Super Bowl contenders to make a trade at the deadline? Mm-hmm. I'm not worried about just making the playoffs at the deadline, so I'm not going to swing a move for a player that might just get me into the playoffs. So I don't look. We're still in August, but I don't think that the Giants make any moves at the trade deadline either to improve this roster.
I mean, we'll see what they do. I know Gettleman made that move for Leonard Williams, which was kind of puzzling to me at the time. So, like you said, it's probably a pretty unconventional thing for a team that's not really in contention to make a move. So we'll see.
All right.
I got no one else I really want.
I'm trying to look through this, and it's not.
Anthony Harris got cut.
I know, again, that Art Stapleton said to John LeGlue was a interesting possibility there for the Giants, because he can play both guard and center. So,
let's talk about that. Pull up Alex's comment.
Let's see. When was that? Was that today or?
Yeah, it was right before we got on. I forgot to bring that up.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want him. But he can come. Sure, why not? Doesn't move the needle for me.
A lot of fans are fixated on correcting the tight end position, but
they're hungry, bro. They're salivating for wins.
I get it.
Ebron sucks. I do not think he helps this team, but if he wants to come aboard, I don't think he hurts this team.
It depends. What is he looking for? What is he willing to play for?
Why is he a free agent?
Well, like we mentioned earlier, I don't think Joe Shane is going to spend money this year that he could carry over to next year when the Giants will have money on the books to play with.
So if he said he would sign a vet minimum contract, would you be down?
Yeah, I think at that point I would.
I agree.
And I mean,
CG, you agree?
I was looking up something. I know Dallas cut a center today. I forget his name. Was it the Boston Lindstrom, the Boston College guy? Is that a guy you think we should consider?
I don't know a lot about him.
I remember doing a lot of mock drafts where I had the Giants taking him later on in the draft, but from a couple people that I know that know college football, they said that he's not very good, which I mean would probably explain why he was cut.
Brandon was saying he's soft.
That he was cut by the Cowboys, but I don't know. I mean, right now, I'll be honest. I'm not that worried by our offensive line.
They did well. I mean, in the preseason, they didn't do that bad. I mean, we were the top rated offense. Correct me if I'm wrong, in the whole NFL in the preseason. So we were doing something right, I think.
What's the status of a lot of our guys? That's the question.
So I had looked up the preseason numbers the other day, which I'll run through real quick here as well. But one of the stats that I saw today, which they alluded to, was the Giants had the most pass attempts in the preseason and also gave up the least amount of sacks in the preseason. So that's a little encouraging. But again, the Giants' first team also didn't face opposing teams' first team. And then you're playing against second and third teams as well. So we keep that into perspective. But the Giants, through the 2022 preseason, they finished fifth in points per game, 25 a game. They finished first in passing yards per game, 272.7. They finished 14th in rushing yards per game, 110. And they finished first overall in total yards per game, 382.7. Look, guys, I'll be honest right now. If that's our number through the regular season, there's going to be a lot to be cheerful about. So those offensive numbers would just go hand in hand with the explosion that everybody was looking for from the offense, right?
Yeah.
But guess what, though? This is a real world, so there's give and take. There's balance. There's yin and the yang. So the Giants' defense ranked 29th in points per game, allowing 24.7 points a game. They were 32nd. They were last in the league in passing yards allowed, 267 per game. They were third, however, in rushing yards allowed. They only allowed 70 yards per game. So that run defense was really good throughout the preseason so far. And it's those guys up front. I know fans are starting to warm up to Leo Williams now. So I say, well, maybe he deserved the contract. But total yards per game, the Giants, again, were ranked 28th, allowing 337 yards a game. They were a league worst in passing yards allowed. And that, I think, is what Murph was alluding to earlier. We got to do something about that secondary.
We need a CB2
right now. Feels comfortable with Aaron Robertson as our CB2.
I'm worried, and this is what I can envision right now. First game, less than 2 weeks away. We lose 38-37, and why we lose? Because our defense sucks, And I'm really excited that we're putting points on the board because I think we're going to need something to keep us, interested. If that's the case, because if we can't stop anyone, you're going to have to put up like 35 points a game,
I mean, going back to your Tyler Johnson thing, man, there's no way you can put a priority on a wide receiver over a cornerback right now. There's no way. You got Adoree, you got Holmes, you got A-Rob, you got Flott, and you got Rodarius. Is Rodarius going to IR tomorrow? That's a huge question. If he goes to IR, you have fucking 4 corners. You have to get a corner tomorrow.
I get it, Mark, but you don't have to prioritize cornerback over a wide receiver because at the end of the day, you also want the most talented player. You're not going to pass on a wide receiver just to take a cornerback that might have been 5th on somebody else's depth chart or 6th.
I feel
you still want talent on this team. Tyler Johnson is 26 years old. He's still young. So in terms of, I don't think the Giants have to necessarily prioritize what their needs are.
I mean, do we just push tight end to third priority?
Who are you putting a waiver claim in on?
I'm just saying, like, it's crazy, dude. We have a lot of.
No, I get it. Giants fans, we got a short-term memory. Ricky Seals-Jones is still on this team. He's just on IR right now.
I thought he's on full IR.
He's on full IR.
Yeah, he's not on
All
return.
right, so he's out for the season?
He's gone to, yeah.
All right.
So,
I just don't know who else that they put a claim in on.
I'm sorry we're going backwards here, but I was surprised they cut Austin Allen.
He did pretty decent.
I
They'll
would have
probably
kept
bring him
Austin
back.
Allen over Tanner Hudson.
Yeah, but Tanner Hudson's still young, but yet he's kind of got that veteran experience, though.
I was surprised. They're probably hoping he's going to slide through. He probably will, but sorry to go backwards there.
No, it's fine. I'm just, again, it's just, I don't think you have to necessarily prioritize one position over the other to sacrifice talent. That's all.
Yeah, we just have 4 huge, massive needs. Wide receiver, corner, center, and tight end.
Yeah. Well, again, the reason that we're talking about this is because the Giants' offensive rankings through the preseason were very good, especially their passing game, and then the total yards per game as well. Oh, I feel like I'm chopping up there a little bit. Was I?
Yeah,
No,
so.
you were.
Oh, okay. I'm slowing down on my side. And then the defense had the worst pass defense through the entire preseason, ranking 32nd in the NFL. So that's what Murph's point was about going back to the cornerback versus wide receiver. And it's a legitimate concern. I'll tell you what, I mean, going back to the original point, let me see, I forget who it was, who wanted to bring in, amazing guy, said that, bring in Tony Jefferson. If the Giants can bring in a safety on a cap-friendly contract, maybe it's not so bad to move Julian Love out to that other cornerback position.
I do remember Love. He did play that first season on the outside, on the perimeter, and towards the end of the season, because he was injured. He came in towards the end of the season. He did play pretty good. So
he's going to get toasted, but he's going to give 110%.
I think he might. I haven't seen him there in a while, but I think he could do an adequate job. Probably better than what Robinson's been giving us, but it's still a concern. It still needs to somehow be dealt with.
And then the problem is, how do you not develop Aaron Robinson? He's got to play in order to develop.
He's a slot corner, though. I mean, that was his MO in college. And I think he's out.
So then, do you put Darnay outside then?
I mean, you got to. They're going to have to keep throwing. They got to keep throwing slime at the wall. Something's going to stick. I mean, somebody's going to step up and play. I hope.
My thing with A-Rob is that it's just what CG said, man. Like, and he wasn't on with us last year at this time, but like we always thought that A-Rob was Jabril Pepper's kind of money backer replacement, right? We knew we were going to get out of Jabril one day, and we were going to have back then we were going to need a money backer for Patrick Graham's defense. And in my opinion, like I remember talking about it a little bit. All we really talked about was A-Rob in the slot or kind of being like a linebacker. So I never really saw him being that CB2. So I don't know why we ever.
I don't remember having that conversation. If we did, I remember having that conversation about McKinney, not about Aaron Robinson.
It was A-Rob because he's physical. That was his thing. He was a run-stopping slot corner.
I remember the Eagles were pissed off because we jumped them for him, and I think their concern, remembering from the draft last year, was that he was going to fit in really good in their scheme as a slot corner.
He went to Bama, and then he transferred home because he's homesick, and I think he got hurt. But he's an inside guy, in my opinion. Always was. I'm not going to go on my tangent, Mage, but this is why I'm missing Bradbury, bro. It's like the wide receivers got a lot of the guys that do a lot of the same things very well. Play inside. You
woke up with tears in your eyes this morning talking about Bradbury. I don't want to revisit that again.
I just said we're not good.
You were certainly on one this morning.
It just kills me if the Eagles are stacked.
Well, it's on paper, though. Let's see them win. I remember 10 years ago the Eagles were stacked. You remember Nandi Asaba? And they were saying, "Oh, they're going to go to the Super Bowl," and
the dream team.
The dream team. I remember that. Wasn't that the year we won the Super Bowl? I think it could have been.
Who they also they also had somebody at either linebacker or line that year that they picked up too.
Oh,
they picked up a few players that year, but yeah, I agree. I think Aaron Robinson needs time to develop, and he's got to play in order to get that type of development. But if you're really concerned, then if the Giants do end up making a move for a safety, maybe you do move Julian Love. Then the guy's not going to complain about it. It's just I don't know if that's an upgrade over what we have right now. I think that's the concern there. All right. Anything else before we close out with the Murph is confused, cursing at his computer. Do we have anything else that we want to close out with the waivers before we start to wrap up soon?
Did you see the Eagles trade? I know it's not waiver related, but the Eagles traded for Gardner Johnson.
Yeah. Gardner Johnson gets burnt quite a bit, though, too. Because my buddy's a Saints fan, so I tend to pay attention to them a little bit. But Gardner Johnson's he's a good cornerback, but he's another guy too that's going to get burnt in coverage. But he'll make some plays. They're loaded though. They got Hassan Reddick, they got James Bradbury, Darius Slay, trade for Gardner Johnson. They did release Anthony Harris though, safety. But yeah, they that defense too, and then Jordan Davis, who was a guy that Murph certainly liked a lot this year coming out. So they are loaded. So we'll see what they do. But and on that offensive side of the ball, I think their biggest question right now it really has to be at quarterback. It's Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, is he going to have a soft? Is he going to come in and do what he did last year, or is he going to come back and have a regression? I mean, Nick Sirianni, that's another thing we're talking about. The Eagles. Is he going to be able to replicate what he did last year? And there's a lot of pressure on him now to do so.
Yeah, I mean, but we've also seen McAdoo take the Giants to the playoffs in year 1 too. So I'm hoping that Nick Sirianni has the same type of luck that McAdoo did. But yeah, man, the Eagles really are loaded. You got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. That offensive line, man. Cam Jurgens. I forget who it was, but all offseason, somebody's certainly been his biggest hype man. But Cam Jurgens has looked really good too. That defense is just stacked too. Their linebacking crew, Hassan Reddick. They got Nakobe Dean. They drafted as well. Yeah. So we'll see, man. I think we just have to be concerned with who the Giants are, what the Giants are doing. And I don't think that they're going to be competitive. I don't think their main goal is to compete with the NFC East this year, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
They'll do so being competitive, but I don't think that they're, looking at winning the NFC East this year as a realistic possibility.
Well, we'll find out a lot. I mean, I think four of the last 6 games or something like that is against those teams in the NFC East. So, I mean, there'll be some time. We'll know about this team by November, whether or not it's going to be doing anything but looking to rebuild, by next year. So we'll find out fast.
Yep, sure will. All right, moving along, team captains. So there were team captains named today, voted on by their fellow teammates. Those team captains were Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Andrew Thomas. On the defensive side of the ball, it was Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Xavier McKinney, and then special teams was Gano, Kreider, Cam Brown, and then Julian Love received what they're calling a hybrid because he received some defensive votes, some special teams votes. So Julian Love rounds it out with number 10. So how you guys feeling about that?
what happened to Blake Martinez? I mean, you know, he was captain. He got demoted. I guess a lot of new players, or what do you guys think about that?
Spoke. The teammates spoke. I get it. You know, I guess the question is, how could you not vote for Xavier McKinney this year over Blake Martinez? Blake got the dot taken away, and they gave it to McKinney. So McKinney is the quarterback on that defense. I think that's probably by default taking it away from Blake and then giving it to Xavier.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know the dynamics. I know that he took a pay cut, Blake Martinez, but this whole preseason, it's been a move away from him as the captain of the defense to McKinney. So in my mind, it just makes sense. You know, that's where the team is headed.
What were you going to say, Murph?
Yeah, I don't think he got it stripped, like you were saying, by default, because he's kind of more the playmate or the signal caller in this scheme. Be hard for Blake to wear the dot in this scheme.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But whoever wears the dot is generally probably a captain on that team defense.
Well, and I expected Shep to probably be in there.
It was voted on by teammates.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a decision that the coaching staff made.
Yeah.
Injury update. Murph.
I don't care about captains, bro.
I can never tell when you're done because you will wait a good 45 seconds, complete silence, and then just restart up again with the same thought.
Injury update?
No.
I'm not sure. I'm just waiting to see if Murph has anything else on the captains.
Not a big fan. Don't really care.
Not a big fan of what? The captains?
I like all the hype surrounding that kind of stuff.
It's just I think about it, and then we talk about what the plan probably is for this team. Not wanting to add a whole lot of money, kick the can down the road to next year when they'll be able to spend a little bit more. I don't think they're going to add much improvement to this team now as presently constructed. Yeah, they're going to make some moves. How much of an upgrade is it going to be, though? The reason why I say all that, because poor Danny got the C on his chest. I don't think they're going to make any significant upgrades this year. Danny's still going to be expected to do more with less. And poor guy probably won't even be here next year. So we'll see.
Will Dexter be here next year? Will Julian Love be here next year?
I do think that Dexter Lawrence will be part of their future.
Yeah, he got the
Xavier, I think, will be as well.
Will Saquon?
I think they like Saquon. We haven't seen much of Saquon in the preseason.
The offense is going to be better for sure.
And the other thing is too, we went through those offensive stats too. Giants were first in total points, total yards per game, right? What we saw in preseason was probably only about 60% of what they wanted to show. So come the regular season, they're going to open up that playbook much more. So we're certainly going to see probably more RPOs, a little bit different. We might see Galladay probably more involved. We're going to see definitely a Saquon more involved. We're probably going to see more two-back formations. I don't know what they're going to do in terms of personnel-wise. 11, 12, 13 personnel. We just don't have the tight ends for it. So it's going to certainly be interesting to see what they do going forward. But the reason why I mentioned that, though, is Denny was voted a captain, and it may be his last year with the New York Giants wearing that C on his chest. So
let's sure hope not. But I am excited for tomorrow. Will we see waiver claims tomorrow? We will.
I was reading. I could be wrong. It's either at midnight tonight we should start seeing them, or it'll be 12 p.m. tomorrow. So it's one of the two.
So we'll see. We'll
was
see who else
tomorrow or
is
something.
not here tomorrow.
What happened?
I mean, I guess because they're going to have to cut guys off this or move. So before we hang up, I guess the potential of opening 3 spots is there tomorrow. Rodarius.
Well, Art Stapleton said earlier that they plan on moving Shane Lemieux and Olison Smith to the short-term IR.
Ooh, I forgot about Olison. So what about? Well, okay. So that opens up 2 spots, right? Because there's no one else that would go to IR, I guess, besides Rodarius. Haven't seen him at all. Dan Belton's not going to IR.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
coming
they'll
back.
make corresponding moves too if they do end up getting some. We talked about those roster bubble guys. They could end up having a corresponding move with an incoming waiver claim. So you could see Carter Coughlin suddenly not make this team.
Right.
Maybe Tomon Fox suddenly gets released. Maybe a guy like DJ Davidson will be released too. I think there's other moves that will correspond with anybody that they pick up, but you have to put in the claim first, and then you have to see whether or not you're awarded the claim. So they're not going to release anybody anticipating a claim when they're not sure if they're going to be granted them or not. So
Joe Shane's probably grinding it out right now
Yeah, I'm sure it's a late night.
as we speak.
Brandon Brown.
Yep.
All right. CG, we didn't come to you for our injury update today. You have any injury news?
Well, we kind of talked about it. I mean, I think Olison Smith and Lemieux are both going to short-term IR. A couple of other guys, Chris Myark is questionable. He's recovering. Tyrod Taylor, he's another one. Keep an eye on. I think if they were really concerned about his health, Davis Webb would have made the roster. So I think he'll be fine. And then Daniel Bellinger, who's been dealing with he had the concussion, but apparently he was practicing today. So that's pretty much it for the injuries since the last time we talked.
All right. That's it, guys. We've been doing this for an hour now. Any closing remarks?
Should be an interesting 2 weeks. I think there will be some more moves the next couple of days. I am excited about the season. It's going to be a week from Thursday from the first game, the Bills and the Rams. So, we're getting there. It's almost September, and it's going to be good. Let's go Giants.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that first game too. I originally had something to do on the 11th, which I just cleared my schedule for that day. So I'm excited to watch the Giants this year, and in particular that offense. We talked about what the offensive numbers look like during the preseason. I want to continue to see that explosion from the offense. I want to see 25 points a game, something that we haven't seen the Giants do in quite some time. Instead, we get the freaking quarterback sneak on 3rd and 4th down. So, Murph.
No, I agree with y'all. Next 2 weeks are gonna feel like the whole summer all over again. But I'm excited. Tomorrow will be like Christmas. I love all that waiver shit. So
Football is back, baby.
yeah, I watched Nebraska versus. Did y'all watch that game versus Northwestern in Ireland?
Yep. Nebraska sucks. I mean, they just,
Both of them sucked.
Yeah,
The quarterbacks are so trash.
you lose to Northwestern. I mean, they suck.
Some of these Giants haters need to go watch some college football and see how bad some quarterbacks are.
I remember back in the 90s when Nebraska was, even earlier than that, Nebraska was one of those teams, and now they're like Rutgers. They're not very good. I mean,
Scott Frost, I think he's lost 20 of his 30 games by less than 8 points.
I'm surprised he has a job.
That's brutal. Well, he's an alumni. That's the
that's probably why.
But yeah. But no. Go Giants, man.
All right, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Giants Report. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Amazing guy, Blue City, Big Blue in the Bronx. Make sure you check out their channel as well here on YouTube, Big Blue in the Bronx. Alex does a great job over there. Taj, thank you for joining us. TJ, Nick the Wick making his appearance. Guys, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We come here live for you. We love the interaction, the engagement. Make sure you join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And that's going to wrap up this episode of Giants Report. Peace and love, everyone.